I think all 10 commandments should be legislated and enforced, but in terms of how do we deal with our unbelieving neighbors in a manner that is fitting to the Christian gospel, I think the way that you do that is, again, a clear delineation between sins and crimes. And again, how to answer that question, this isn't the only metric, but I think a primary metric is public versus private. So as it pertains to the first table of the law of God, the first 10 commandments, and our vertical obligation, moral obligation to God, loving the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, the first commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Back to the coveting police and then just police in general, I would not have a government police system that's going into private homes of Muslims or Jews or Hindus and trying to catch them, in the mid family worship as they're bowing down to some idol. I think that would be incredibly inappropriate and a breach of the sanctity of individual privacy, and that it would be the government stepping outside of its jurisdiction that God has given. However, I would be comfortable saying there will be no Islamic parades. Like, for instance, that's in Minnesota, Islamic, 5 times a day public calls to prayer. I would say you can have church bells, Christian church bells, that everyone in town can hear, including the non-Christians, and they just have to kind of put up with it. It's not, unnecessarily antagonistic. Church bells, not church sirens, so you're not going out of your way to be a jerk. It's a pleasant sound, but it is a publicly, universally heard sound throughout the day by all the citizens, whether they're Christian or not. But you could not have Islamic siren, calls to prayer, even if they were pretty. You still couldn't have them because allowing for private worship in the home of a Muslim would be permissible, but public displays of worship to false gods that's erecting high places in a nation to false gods, and God will not bless that. And so it's not even the Muslims' best interest for them to have public high places to false gods. He would do well in a temporal sense. He would experience, he and his family would experience more joy and more peace and more tangible temporal blessing in their life if they worshiped Allah privately and did not bring reproach upon the nation publicly, so that the nation could continue to receive the blessings of the triune God.